Hey there, this is Eric Keller for Blue Patone. I love ZBrush's Bas Relief Alpha feature. It's yet another way to make cool, detailed, custom alphas. The Bas Relief option is perfect for making sculptural decor for architecture or engraving or really any kind of decorative element. In this video, I'm going to compare the standard process for making a Bas Relief projection with the Bas Relief Alpha option. Both are easy to do and really powerful. Okay, so in this video, we're using ZBrush 2026, which was just released last week. And I'm going to focus on a couple different ways to create the Bas Relief, which is a great feature, awesome for creating sculptural decor. As you can see, if you do a quick image search on Google for Bas Relief, these are some examples of typical Bas Relief. It's like sculpted into a surface, basically. It's like 2.5D, like the original ZBrush. So I have a sculpture here that's made up of several subtools, as you can see. I did a while back, just sort of like a little decor here. And I'm going to create a Bas Relief from this, sort of the more traditional way. And I'm going to create a polygon plane and then project all of this onto the polygon plane. So let's do that by appending a star. And I'll turn on solo here for a second, press W. And get the gear icon and choose polyplane. Let's press W and scale it up. Turn off solo. So I just basically want to position it kind of in front of the subtools here and scale it up so that it covers the whole thing. All right, so we can see it's go down here to display, turn on double so we can see both sides. So you can see it's in front there. Next thing I want to do is I want to divide it. Right now it's only 81 points, so I'm going to go to geometry. I'm going to turn off smooth just so it doesn't shrink, and then subdivide it, get it up to about 4 million points. There, about 4 million points, just so I have enough to bring out the detail. And then I'll go down here to subtool with the polyplane selected, and everything else is visible. Maybe we'll get this a little bit closer. Like that. I'll switch the view so I'm looking at it, and then I'll go down here to then I'll go down here in the subtool palette under project, do project Bas Relief. We have some settings here. I'm just going to use the default. I'll choose project Bas Relief. After a few seconds, you can see that all the subtools have been projected onto that plane. And then I can move it aside and you can compare. So that's a nice way to create a Bas Relief. Let's take a look at another way to do it. It's a little bit easier and a little bit faster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this plane here. So I have this one that has the Bas Relief, and I have this one. And I'm just going to go back a couple steps. So it's 4 million points, but before I projected anything. So we have this one, and we have this one. Let's make them both invisible and select our subtools here. So don't worry about the planes right now. We're just focused on the subtools that make up the sculpture. And I'm going to go into the Alpha palette and under Bas Relief, leave these settings at their default for the moment. And I'll choose Make Bas Relief. And what it's going to do is it's going to make an alpha texture from the visible subtools. So now I can go to my plane here, choose a brush, set the Z intensity to 20. Drag out of my plane, and you can see there's my Bas Relief. And if we compare it with this one, let's turn them both on. They look pretty similar in terms of the quality. That's the Alpha, and that's the projected Bas Relief. The advantage of the Alpha is that I have an Alpha now, so I can save this and use it with any brush that I want to in ZBrush for future ZBrush sessions. So they both kind of work pretty well. The other thing about the Alpha Bas Relief is it's much faster. You just have to take a look at the object, make the Alpha, and there you go. You're done. You don't have to do quite as much setup. The only reason I added the plane here is just so I could create an example where I could compare them side by side. The only reason this is smaller is just because that's how far I dragged it out. You can get it the same size. That doesn't really matter. As far as the settings here for Project Bas Relief, you take a look at these settings and compare them with the settings in the Alpha. They're kind of the same. And you can hold the control key and hover over the setting and you'll get an explanation of what each setting does. I'm not necessarily going to read them out loud because they're pretty self-explanatory. It's basically increasing or decreasing the quality, reducing the amount of stepping you might encounter, smoothing it, and adjusting the tolerance. The last setting that I want to point out is this Apply Bas Relief to Alpha. What this does is this takes an existing alpha and makes it more like a bas relief. So for example, if I take this guy right here, I'm going to go down here and just draw it out. So that's the regular alpha. If I have this and I choose alpha, apply bas relief, it's going to apply these settings to this alpha and make a new alpha. So here's the new alpha. If I draw it out, you can see it's a little bit softer, has a kind of a different quality to it than this one does. So that's what that does. So there you go. Another great way to make alphas in ZBrush using Bas Relief. And I think it's really cool. I'm using it here in this example for architectural detail or decor, but obviously you can use this technique for anything you want. Try making dragon scales with it or something else just to see what kind of quality alpha you get out of it. And of course, you can use any of your ZBrush tools, no matter how many subtools it has, in order to generate that Bas Relief Alpha. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.